Our next learning objective is preparing forms W-2 and W-3. So W-2 is the wage and tax statement. On page 276 of your chapter handout, you can find a picture and more information. It's prepared by the payroll department each calendar year. Each employee will get their W-2 after the year ends, and it provides that employee with a summary of that employee's gross earnings and the deductions like federal income tax, OSTI, and Medicare. Copies will be given to the employee, the IRS, which stands for Internal Revenue Service, any state where the employee's income taxes have been withheld, the Social Security Administration, so years later they can figure out how much Social Security the employee is eligible for, and of course the company will keep records of it. So here's a sample W-2. Again, you can find on page 276. Box A is the employee's Social Security number. Box B is the employer's identification number, the EIN. Box C is the name of the employer and their address. Box E is the employee's name and then their address. Box 1 is a little bit tricky. It's gross taxable wages. It does not include any pre-tax benefits such as savings contributions to a 401k plan, a 403b plan, and other types of retirement plans. So what you're going to leave out of box 1, even though it's gross wages, notice it's taxable gross wages for federal income tax. Contribution to your retirement plans, such as a 401k or an IRA, those are not taxable for federal income tax. So let's say you made $70,000 and you contributed $5,000 to your 401k. So box 1 would be your gross wages, $70,000, minus that $5,000 contribution to your 401k. So box 1 would be $65,000. Box 2 is the federal income tax withheld from that employee during the year, and the employee needs this information to fill out their tax return at the end of the year. Box 3 are Social Security wages. In other words, the wages that are taxable for Social Security. Box 4 is the actual Social Security tax withheld from that employee's paychecks during the year. Box 5 is the wages taxable for Medicare, and for our purposes, we assume that all of the wages are taxable for Medicare, but of course in the real world there are some exceptions. Box 6 is the Medicare tax withheld. Box 15 is the state that the employee was working in, and then the employer's state ID number for box 16. Make sure you do not include retirement account contributions. Again, if an employee was made $70,000 and had $5,000 taken out for the 401k or an IRA, you would enter $65,000 in box 16. And then box 17 is the state income tax withheld from that employee's paychecks during the year. And just a reminder about box 3, gross wages go in box 3, but only the wages that are taxable for Social Security. So if a person made $1 million in a year, then box 3 would actually be the OSTI wage base. Then we have the form W-3. It's called the Transmittal of Income and Tax Statements. You can see an image on page 277 and on the next slide. It's completed by the employer to verify the number of W-2s and the amounts withheld. So really what a W-3 is it's just you can think of it as a W-2 on steroids. It's one W-3 that has all the totals from all of the W-2s. So basically it's a summary W-2. And it's sent to the Social Security Administration's data processing center along with copies of each employee's W-2. So you plop the W-3 on top of the W-2s and you send them off to the Social Security Administration. So this is an example of a W-3. In box C, you have the total number of W-2s. So apparently the company, which is travelwithus.com, they had 5 employees. And then box 1, you're going to add up all the box 1s of those 5 employees and put the total there. Same with box 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, and 17. Other than that, it's pretty much like the W-2. So just remember the W-3, you have one W-3 that totals all the boxes from the W-2s for that year.